I don't know, dog. It's Sunday, man. I'm fighting for my life. I'm fighting, man. Mama raised a fighter. I have nothing major to talk about, so instead I'm gonna yap about two completely unrelated things. Clorinde's not fighting Childe, and Focalors Plan. So as you can see, yeah, we're scraping the bottom of the barrel here. Next video might just be a fit check, unironically. Who's got the juice and who's got the sauce? Feel free to skip to whichever of the two topics you find more befitting of your palates, but to start, I just want to speak on Focalors Plan, because to this day, I still can't possibly wrap my head around how she wrapped her head around it. I get that, story-wise, the crux of the issue with Fontaine's prophecy was that the people would turn into oceanids when the primordial waters burst forth, and she remedied that by returning the Hydro Authority to Nervalet, and he, in turn, fixed the primordial water in the people's veins by turning it into blood, so that when the primordial waters touched them, they would no longer just, break. That's great, and, I'm here for it. However, there's still a massive problem that she never really addressed, and it's the fact that a fucking titanic flood was going to and then eventually blasted the nation. I mean, look at this. This is like what? 1, 2, 3, 400, 500, 600, 800 feet of water? I mean, the deadliest flood in human history was probably the 1931 China floods, which claimed the lives of anywhere from 400,000 to 2 million people. That was only like 53 feet high. To even get a flood a couple hundred feet high, you'd have to go back to the fucking Ice Age when glaciers were just blocking everything. A flood a couple hundred feet high in the modern era would be a cataclysmic event on an unprecedented scale. A complete behemoth of a problem in and of itself. So what happened when this biblical flood hits Fontaine? Everyone just, I don't know, just became fucking Aquaman, I guess. Niggas was just swimming around like it's a pool, bro. Why couldn't Fishman here do something? He said he could, or else he implied he could do something if he had his Hydro Authority to us earlier.
Well, if you are the Dragon Sovereign of Water, and you were able to force back the primordial sea from the fortress, then since Fontaine's prophecy is all about seawater, couldn't you just use your power to solve the crisis?
I believe I will not be able to do much, unless the Archon disappears and returns their elemental authority to me.
And this was way before he knew of Focalors' plot, so what was he thinking he could do here if he had his authority? And if it was something to do with the flood, then why didn't he just stop the flood? What was his plan? He has complete control of Hydro. Why couldn't he just, stroll up to the ocean and just put his hand out, just like Michael Jackson, and just stop? And yeah, I suppose there was the Writhsley machine that, he was controlling, but come on. Come on, buddy. When the waters finally receded, after about 3 seconds, half these niggas just emerged from ground. Like, where are you all coming from? Where were you all hiding when the flood hit? I mean, look, all I'm saying is, we know a lot of water is what also ended the early peoples. Quote, this heaven-blessed rain lasted countless generations until people grew tired of their inscrutable eternity. Their offspring ceased to listen to the oracles. Instead, they desired things never promised to them by the divine, trying to break free from their fates. Enraged by their behavior, heaven sent gigantic waves to smash the settlers' cities. 100 days of rain came afterward, and the roaring tides drowned all sin and irrigation, and thus were the early peoples brought to an end. So what's the deal with these waters right now? They not wet enough or what? What was Focalors just banking on everyone being fucking mermaids? Or does he just accept that some people will die? If anyone died. Do we know if anyone died? I don't know. Maybe someone can explain, though. I just thought that whole thing was wild. Anyway, next up is Clorinde. Fellas, gals, have we watched Clorinde's character teaser? There's something amiss in the first parts here. Take a look.
Some say that champion duelists are to Fontaine as the safety is to a musket. Which is to say, a chance to defend one's honor and avoid the scrutiny of the prosecution. A way to unload the pent-up emotion in the courtroom without a violent eruption. But there's another way of looking at it, namely, when the accused denigrate the law and question its authority, we must safeguard the dignity of the court. And as a last resort, we will do so by force.
Yeah, that's great and all. So her job of a champion duelist is but a simple one. It's first and foremost a job that allows her to fight those who seek justice by way of a duel. Those who reject the ruling of the Oratrice. But then she goes on to state that her job is also to safeguard the dignity of the court, those who denigrate the law and question its authority, and she will do this by force if she must. Guys, is she just yapping or what? Because we've already seen someone spit on their ruling, reject it, call the court system of Fontaine a joke, and proceed to take up arms in the courtroom, and it's our good friend, Childe.
What's with this verdict? Is your justice machine malfunctioning? So this is how justice is done in Fontaine. What a joke.
See what my boy did here? He violated the dignity and sanctity of the courtroom. Had the violence eruption that Clorinde is meant to guard against, yet she was nowhere to be found. Why is that? Why is that? She had no problem fighting this fucking plebeian. This nigga would be a smurf or a surf. What were they called back in the medieval times? He's one of them. But when the real ballers come out to play, we just sitting on the sidelines, staying silent, huh? Ain't that a shame? A champion duelist, huh? I mean, maybe she knew she was gapped. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. No, as a matter of fact, it's great. George Washington was perhaps the greatest retreater in the history of warfare. Didn't hurt his legacy. Jokes aside, I'd imagine, maybe I'm coping here, but she wanted to protect Furina. I mean, realistically, I think, she didn't step in just so Nervalette could have his moments. I mean, we know Clorinde isn't a bitch. I mean, Childe's been asking for ages to spar with her, so clearly she's an extremely talented individual. That aside, I suppose we should talk a bit about Clorinde. She's an interesting character. The strongest champion duelist in all of Fontaine, she's also a successor to the Marechaussee Hunters.
Clorinde's peerless skills have made her the most powerful champion duelist in our nation. As a successor to the Marechaussee Hunters of old, she plays a vital role in ensuring the fairness and impartiality of the courtroom.
The Hunters have a long history in Fontaine, and some of their more notable members include Elaine and Marianne. They're also a part of the Phantoms, which itself traces its, lineage all the way back to the whoremost of God King Remus, Cassiodor. Her name, Clorinde, is no doubt derived from an epic titled Jerusalem Delivered, in which Clorinde is a strong warrior princess who fights with the Muslims against the Christian Crusades. Sadly for her, however, she dies in battle to a man she fell in love with. Happens, I suppose. Furthermore, Clorinde is up to... No, that's all we know. Okie dokie. She likes hunting. She likes hunting, yeah. She played a weird role in the Archon quest, but I do like her character. I like the juxtaposition between how serious her demeanor is versus how chill she is underneath. Nervalette looks like a rock and acts like a rock. Clorinde looks like a rock, but acts like a cucumber.